Okay, so the city of Afeld, the population is around about 24,000. It's primarily roughly 80% is made up of humans, 15% of half-elves, and 5% of the others. And that's everything else. The Lord of Afeld is a guy called Lord Dumfries. He is a well-known, respected human nobleman. Has a little bit of a sad backstory, which we'll get into later on perhaps. Below him is the Council of Guilds. Some of the guilds that you might be aware of is the White Wheel, which is the Merchants Guild, Farmers Combine, the producers of foodstuffs, the Green Ward, which is the Rural Soldiery and Constabulary, the Lantern Watch, which is the City Watch and Constabulary, the Hospice, which is a conglomeration of tavern, inn and entertainers guilds, the Iron Vault, which is the financial and banking guilds, the Traders, which is pretty much all the other sort of small businesses really that are established. There's a small guild called the Shield and Sword, which is basically a group of mercenaries. The Circle of Faith, which is sort of a representation of all the churches, and the Muckers, which is the guild of street, sewer and maintenance workers. Nope. Shield and Sword. Yep. That's all backstory. Yeah, okay. So, with that, we'll, in a second. Yep, it's good for 2.5 days. Okay, so we left you 2 days out on the road. So I found, oh god, I've lost it now. Found your movement rates and all that sort of stuff. So you're on planes, it's your movement rates change according to the terrain and how much you're carrying, all that sort of stuff. So movement rates, generally speaking, if you are of average burden, yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's excellent. Oh, here we go. Average burden assumes an average man travelling with from 26 to 60 pounds of gear of all sorts, so 260 coin weight to 600 coin weight, that's considered average burden. Heavy is anywhere between 60 pounds and 90 pounds.
So we're not following the thing?
That's combat, that's small scale. This is land scale. So yeah, you add your strength bonus if you've got one. But
strength bonus adds to like
yeah, so if that would be 50 pounds on any one of those numbers I just if that's what you got the bonus of. So, for example, the average person on a road that's in non-rugged terrain would walk roughly 20 miles in the whole day. If that same person was on horseback, he could move anywhere up to 60 miles in a day, given how much weight he was carrying or the horse could carry. So normal terrain is basically open ground scrub, typical desert, light forest, low hills, small watercourses, etc. It's assumed roadways or paths, that sort of stuff. Rugged terrain, you sort of move to the intermediary, and then very rugged is broken ground, deep snow and ice, heavy forest, marshy ground, bogs, bluffs, mountains, and broad watercourses, as in wide rivers. So if it's not either one of those, it's the stuff in the middle. I'll probably just be keeping track of where roughly what you should be traveling, but just so you know, when you're actually planning to move somewhere, always plan on the slowest of you. So like if you've got someone who's in the heavy burden range and you're on normal terrain, you can only move 10 miles a day, unless you happen to pop that person on the back of a horse, and then it goes up significantly. Other thing I forgot, everyone has a chance of listening. So dwarves have a 10% or 2 in 10. Everyone who's not a thief or an assassin, I think, are the only two other groups that have hear noise. You all use D20s. Well, I'll be using a D20, but the dwarves have a 2 in 10. We have a half elf. An elf, sorry, 3 in 20, so 15%. And this is for listening at doors and stuff, chance of hearing noise. This is, everyone's basically got this, but only at this level. Only thieves and assassins can actually make it go up. And humans are 2 in 20 chance. So just so you're aware, it takes a full round of concentration. You do not wear any headgear. The rest of the group has to be quiet. If you fail, you can listen up to 3 consecutive times before you have to have a break and come back. And the break is around about 5 minutes or so before you can go back, but you probably want to do something else before then, unless you really just want to make sure you can try to listen for something. It doesn't always give you clear resolution about what's going on in the next room, but it might give you an indicator. So that's just an ability everyone's got. Found the detection of evil and or good stuff. So you have to spend at least a round of concentrating. You can, depending on the degree of evil, you can detect good and evil on an individual, you can detect good and evil on certain magic items, and you can detect good and evil on certain areas. So that's going to be, I'm guessing, a bit of hit and miss as you try to work out which one you can, which one you can't do. But you also will get a degree, if you like, what do they call it? A strength of it. Yeah. No, you don't want that one. Yeah. Does the magic user have detect magic? I don't think they do yet.
I have read magic and comprehend languages, so no.
Okay, right, yeah. Cool. Right, so when you get it, I'll talk about what that does. Everyone is surprised on a 1 and 2 on a d6. Have no rangers, have no anybody else's. If you happen to be an elf, you do get weapon proficiency in the weapons that they tell, well, not weapon proficiency, sorry, you get the bonus to hit with those weapons listed, but of course you get the penalty if you don't have those weapon proficiencies.
The penalty is -4.
For you, I think it's a bit more than that. You'd have to look in the player's handbook. Yeah.
Okay.
So you really don't want to pick up a sword if you can help it.
Don't use a sword or bow unless absolutely desperate, in which case throw it. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Throw it so they can trip up on it, and as you move away very quickly. Yeah. Also had a look at the procedure with combat to make sure I was talking about the right thing. And I was, but there's just one order I just want to be really clear about. Why can't I find it? Crap. So it goes basically I determine if there's any surprise, what distance you encounter the thing at. If both parties are unsurprised or equally surprised, then we go straight into initiative. Before you roll initiative, any spellcaster, I ask you if you're going to cast a spell. You don't have to sort of tell me what it is because I'm pretty free with that, but I just need to know whether you're going to be casting a spell or not. Then we roll for initiative. If you gain initiative, don't forget you can always try to avoid engagement. You don't have to sit there and fight. You can still face them off 60 feet away, but you can try to avoid if you think you've got a good chance of that. You can also attempt to parley. You can also attempt to wait the action of the other party, but in doing that, you've got to set, if you're going to do anything, you've got to set the trigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're like preparing to do something on their movement.
Yeah. So yeah, when they start moving towards me, that's when I'm going to do X. That sort of thing. Yep. And then we go into our normal stuff of discharge missiles or magic device attacks or cast spells or turn undead. We then move close to striking range or charge, and this is where it gets a little bit, you've got to be careful with this. If you are on the receiving end of a charge and you've got a long weapon, that is when you're allowed to set for the charge, to receive the charge. Yeah, so if you've got a long weapon and you haven't acted that stage, you can say, okay, I'm just setting my weapon. So, and in any combat, even apart from surprise, but in any combat, the longest weapon attacks first. So you can charge, but you're going to get hit by the spear first unless you've got a longer spear, if there's one set against you. Yeah.
Sorry, I have guess what crazy woman female carries a spear.
Yep. So that's fine. If you set that for charge, no matter what's charging at you, you'll roll to hit that first, with that first before they can get to you. But only on the first round. After that, they engage with you, and you lose that ability.
Hey,
Yep.
Steve, that's a quick question.
Yep.
In the strength table for characters, for example, under 18 strength,
Mhm.
there's 3 values. There's 18 slash 1 to 50, and 18 slash 50 to 71.
Yes, you have 18 strength. When you age and get a bonus to strength, you can roll for percentile. So if you get magical bonus somehow to strength that increases your strength, you might get might give you 19, might give you a percentage, I don't know. But usually when you age and you get that bonus to strength, if you're already sitting on an 18, you get to then roll a percentile. If you're a fighter and you've rolled up an 18, you usually roll a percentile anyway, and then when you age, you usually go up a bracket. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
which case, when you get booked up, tie those cell bars into bow ties.
Yeah, make it look pretty. Yeah, exactly. So just finishing off initiative, because sometimes we haven't done it, but you do, in the order of effect, you do strike blows with weapons to kill or subdue, and then you move down to grapple or hold. The only change in that is that if a monster, who is an animal intelligence, all of their, what I think you'd sort of consider physical attacks, because they're using their claws or their hands or whatever, they go first. So there's a couple of little bits where it swaps around. So if, for example, a lion has 3 attacks in a round, like we said before, if you've got like 2 bow and arrow shots, you use one on your initiative and one at the end. they get to do their claw bite in a sequence. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. So yeah, so that's why they are dangerous, because they get to do that. So just wanted to confirm that that's what we're doing in combat. So you've got lots of little other bits and pieces we haven't really talked about, but I just want to bring them to your attention in case, in case you wanted to use those to avoid combat or try to get out of combat. And don't forget, be inventive. If you're being chased by a group, be inventive. One of the easiest things you can do is drop some food on the ground. That might be enough to actually distract them, you know, or a couple of coins or whatever. That's an easy way to try to tempt them to stop charging after you. Animals, food will do well. Some sort of treasure will do well, but of course then you get the really intelligent ones who go, well, if you've dropped that, you're obviously keeping back on the good stuff, so we're going to chase you even more. It's a bit of a 50-50 sort of thing, you know. You can actually get that going off. Yeah. So just some of those things to consider. And I think that's all I really want to talk about with combat, just to start off with anyway. But just remember, you can avoid if you want to, and things you've got to consider are, does the creature look like it's going to have a better movement rate than you? Are they carrying more than you? Are they trying to maneuver or move in an environment that's not native to them? That will definitely slow them down. And how much of a head start have you guys got, and how much of crap can you sort of throw in their pathway to slow them down, sort of thing. So those are the sort of things to consider as you're trying to detail, as you're trying to avoid. Parlaying is more of a charisma based thing, so you'd obviously want the paladin to take control of that. Yeah. Shields. Yeah. Yeah. So shields, I looked at that because someone asked me about shields. So you've got small shields and big shields, basically. The normal size shields are included in the small shields. So if you're wielding a shield in your right hand, that's good for attacks on the left and the front. It does not help you with any flank or back attacks. Obviously on the left you've got that. Shield can only actually help you against one attack in that whole arc. A tower shield, doesn't matter, it's only one attack. It can only give you against one attack. Yep. A tower shield, which is basically a body shield, what that does, it gives you a bonus versus hurled missiles, more bonus versus hurled missiles and arrows because it's bigger. It impairs your movement, but it can block more front attacks and a slight, I can't remember the exact percentage, I have to look it up, but a slight arc of attacks from the front, because you're basically standing in a movable wall, and behind a movable wall. Yeah.
So even a small metal shield can only help you for one attack. So
Yep.
what are the negatives for dual wielding then?
The negatives for dual wielding: you don't have the shield, so you lose one straight away. You get an automatic -2, -4, -2 on your on hand, -4 on your off hand to attack. You can never get a bonus to attack with weapons that you're dual wielding.
Even if you have a natural
Yep.
+1 bonus?
No, it can only take you up. It can only take the negatives off. It can never give you any sort of bonus to hit.
Oh, okay, but if
Yeah.
you had a bonus +1, it would take it down to like a -1, -3 though.
Well, yeah. It can take the -4 all the way to 0, but it can never go beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. The only thing that can break that is magic. But you do get,
+1 item or whatever.
yep, but you do get your full strength damage on both weapons. So if you've got a +1 to strength, you get it on the first one, and if the second one hits, you get it on the second one as well.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Dual welding is considered a maneuver, so you actually go at it with both weapons, and if we're using full speed rules, you'd go at it with the longest weapon speed the biggest weapon speed. But since we're not, it doesn't matter. So basically, a longsword and a dagger, they go off at the same time, basically. So that's the other bonus of dual wielding, I believe.
And there's no negative for having like 2 short swords?
You can't have 2 short swords. The second weapon has to be smaller than the first weapon, and the first weapon, they both have to be one-handed weapons. So you could have like a short sword and a hand axe, a long sword. I don't think you can. Oh, you might be able to have a short sword. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'd have to look at that one because I know there's something else about that. But anyway,
So
you
can't have 2 short swords, even
no.
though you can have a long sword and a short sword?
I don't think you can have a long sword and a short sword. No, I think that came in when they introduced the Motomura in 2nd edition, Andy. Otherwise known as the Ranger. Yeah, because yeah. No, 2nd edition when you got 2 weaponed welding crap, and they yeah, and they could be the same weapons. Yeah, there's all that too. Yeah. So I think hopefully that answers some of your questions around how you can play a bit with the thing there. So a flank attack never gives you a bonus, it just negates the Defender's Armor class addition for a shield, and a rear flank where the opponent is virtually unable to view you also negates their dexterity armor class. And a rear attack, only from rear, not rear flank, a rear gives the attacker a +2 to hit. If you're stunned, prone to motionless, you get a +4. How do you lose it? Oh, when it's not counted to in combat, when they attack you from the back.
So that means my shield doesn't work in the back, but if I get stabbed in the back because it doesn't take my dex bonus into account, my armor stays the same.
Yeah, so it's the flat armor. So if your armor is 5 for chain, you got 5 on the back. If you're welding a shield, it's 4 on the front, and if you've got a +1 from any dexterity, it's now a 3 on the front. Yeah. So yeah. So something from the right front, front or left front flank, that includes your dexterity and your shield. Something from the left back or the right back flank does not include your shield but your maneuverability, and something from the back excludes everything, and the attacker gets a bonus to hit you. Yeah. And don't forget, you can also pummel, so you can use the pommel of your weapon if you want to. It does a flat 1 to 4. Well, it doesn't kill people, that's the thing. If you want to just try to render them unconscious, you can hopefully knock them out without killing them. But that's just something if you want to, if you want that for a special effect, or you need to talk to them about something afterwards.
Can you murder strike this?
If somebody is prone,
No, sorry, I think murder strike. Sorry, I'm just
yeah.
stupid playing with swords. They used to grab the sword by the blade, hold it at the bottom of the blade, halfway up the blade, and then as a
One
hit.
as they hit them in the hill.
Yeah,
And stab them through the wires with a dagger, pretty much.
yeah, that's how they like to deal with armor, is they beat him with the back end of the sword.
That's like saying that a true longsword is actually 2 hands. That's what they actually are.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'd have to say, Will, to your answer, this isn't Hollywood.
That's not Hollywood. That's legit.
Actual old school use.
That's true use. That's not Hollywood.
This isn't true use either, this is fantasy.
Yeah, so I didn't know how much.
No, I don't know. Well, I'd have to look at it. If you can give me some stuff to look at, I might very well say yes, okay, with either this penalty or bonus. That's fine. But there'd have to be. There's some things I'd have to consider, such as how are you holding it. Otherwise, you're taking damage from holding onto the blade. Yeah. you know, so that sort of thing. But that's fine. Just if you can send me something, I'll have a look at it. But yeah, yeah. So hopefully that covers a few more details for people to be aware of that they can possibly use in the game. Okay. I think we'll go from there. So day 2, you're on the road. You woke up on the second morning. I just need to know because you've only got a magic user, you don't have a cleric these days, do you? No? So magic user, what spell are you memorizing for the day?
Shall take the almighty
Excellent.
until further notice. That is my spell per day.
Awesome. Okay. So Will, did you have a? Yep, your amazing one. But you've got your little zapper there.
My rod.
Your little wand. Yep. Yeah. Will.
Weapon is deadly, by the way. I thought you'd give me that in that last game. Sorry.
That's all cool. That's all cool. It's true. They're very good little weapons.
Characters, though.
Yeah. And you've got to remember to remind me that you are doing it, otherwise you don't get it. So, Will, I haven't got your code of honor thing yet.
I've got my code of honor, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's like a list of the things I'm doing without
Yeah.
the further detail that I want to add to each of them.
Okay. So when you're ready, please do so. Also, have a look at the link that Ron's given on Spectrum and on the blog. Because not to scale it to the numbers and how they do it, but just look at the huge list of expectations that a paladin has upon him.
On that list I just sent you, I'm going to have like a couple of very strict examples of each that's
Mhm.
part of it, if that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's all cool.
I think that's 10.
That's all cool. 9 there. Well, there's 8 and a saying or something at the end. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah.
That was going to be 1 to 3. I can split them out into individuals, or it'd be one very hefty one.
Okay, so my only question would be when you say by any means necessary, because that worries me.
Yeah, no, it's that's going to be more of a certain scenario self-sacrifice thing.
Okay, well I'll wait for you to read on, to send on.
Do you want me to do that during the game, or do I do it after the game?
We might be able to do it after the game tonight. I'm not sure. Okay, guys. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. 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 So it's the morning of the 22nd. Just a rough marching order. Oh, sorry. Going out to do the who's hitting the snares?
No, well, he already set the got like 3 rabbits, I think. That was the day one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I just need to. Yep. So can you please, for that night, can you please give me another roll, please? Same roll, 3d6 on versus your intel, I think it was.
Alright. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, another very bounteous night of rabbits. Just give me so. I'm going to say 5 rabbits this time, because that's lower than the last time, I think. So you're definitely keeping the group in provisions.
The rabbits.
Yeah.
You guys love rabbits.
Yeah. Yep.
He's just walking along, Rick just pulls up 3 rabbits out of a random bush. Yeah, this will do for dinner.
He finds a hat on the side of the road and he starts pulling out rabbits. Okay. So you're moving off and exactly. Just rough marching order, please.
Just stroll next to the magic user.
Yep.
It's about Scott.
Okay. So I take it.
Spread
I,
knowledge among my brothers.
okay. So Paladin, I take it that you're sort of trying to lead.
Yes, Lord of Manon,
Okay.
front of the party.
Okay. And sorry, Matt, your character, who's Elia, where are they? Oh no, next to me. So where, sorry, is the dwarf? That was what I was asking. Is
That I was just stomping as far towards the front as I could be.
okay.
Like, sack a rabbit over my shoulder
Sacco rabbit.
and singing, to myself.
Okay,
Various
that's all cool. So basically, I've got a like a 5-sided dice number with Bastard on the left, the Paladin on the right, in the middle is Harlot, Eli on the left back with the Magic User on the right back. So if that's okay, we'll proceed with that sort of marching order, sort of spaced roughly around about 5 feet apart from each one, sort of thing, if that's okay. So can I please get, as you're marching through the day, where do I have to make a check? Sorry guys, got to make the very first encounter check. And it's a... Oh, I'm so sorry. That's okay because it's in the recording, so you'll see the number. I just rolled a 1. So, your very first random encounter, I'll go to what normally happens.
Strength.
That's the one. Okay. Rightio, first level creatures. Where are you? Here we go. So, yeah, so obviously if it's highly inappropriate, like you suddenly get attacked by a flock of mermen, I'm going to say of course no, but I'll try to find something that's at least terrain appropriate. Yeah, so where you are, I don't think you're going to really find a giant toad. Just have to play with this a bit. Okay, it's reasonable. Now let me go find this. So can Paladin, you're trying to lead, so can you give me a 1d6 roll and don't roll a 1 or a 2 please? So Dedrick.
Alright. Let's this roll, Manon. Got this.
Uh-huh.
Let's it be.
Why I was laughing before it even happened.
Yeah, well, I don't, so I'll be rolling this. You're surprised by a small herd, really, a small herd of, no, they're going to be a lot closer, so I'm going to roll their distance. This is in feet. Oh god, come on. Yes. So 19 feet away, so this might hold you in some good stead because, no, they can still close in one round and bite you. Okay, they, oh sorry, no, before we do that, because I've got a roll to see if, yeah, dire rats, no, just giant rats. Well, you guys are so lucky, we're going to go to initiative because they are kind of surprised as well, strange as it may be. So you'll see Paladin and the rest of the group, you will see roughly half a dozen of these small, now small in this case means roughly terrier sized dogs or a little bit bigger. Okay, so quite large actually, giant rats, traveling in a group, basically scurrying from one part of a field across the road in front of you. We will roll for initiative and see what each side does. Depending on what you do, you might actually just completely avoid them, or they might just run straight past you, or something else might happen. They could. depending on what happens.
Not if the paladin has time to speak it.
He might do, but we'll do that in initiative, because now's not the time.
The surprise round, the only thing that Paladin will be getting often is eaten.
Or making sure he's got enough space in the back of his pants to contain whatever's going to about to fall out of his butt. Paladin, I need you to roll. Sorry, first of all, if you get initiative, or when you get initiative, any spellcasters doing any spells? Nope. Okay. Rightio. Paladin. Yes. So it's 19 feet away, guys. So just please remember that. Right. So it's 1d6 roll, please, Deirdrick. And beat a 5.
I roll a 1.
Okay. So, yep. So far things are working really well for the DM anyway. I've got to roll to see what their reaction is, whether you've taken their fancy or whether they are more scared of you than you are of them. The other thing too that I found that they suggest is that some person might want everyone sort of choose certain types of creatures and actually take just from themselves a sort of a monster diary of sorts, so you get to understand how some monsters work and somebody can remember and tell the group, yeah, I remember when we did the rats that these particular rats had this sort of effect or something like that. So up to you guys as to who wants to do whatever, but you might want to call out, I'll take these giant rats or whatever, or not. What do I need here? Percentile. Okay. Yep, so they do pause in the middle of the road. And I've got to make another bloody roll. As they look at you, this is brief, it's not like a long pregnant pause or dramatic or anything, they just, you've caught their attention in some shape or fashion.
Came up their surprise, right?
And yeah, no. So they hesitate momentarily as you guys may be maneuvering to get ready to do something, but in that moment their bodies, their momentum carries them forward across the road and into the next field, and everyone might breathe a little sigh of relief. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Cool. So as you approach this part of the road, how do you guys want to move past this point?
I have my bow out and an arrow drawn.
Right.
I just want to sort of figure in sort of the surface of it more as a, I know that there's a fair few of them, but rats typically are going to, dealing with rats in the caves, which is what type of only really attack if they're truly from there voraciously hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make myself big and just keep an eye on them without giving a sort of target.
Okay. Or where they disappeared to anyway.
Because I'll have my hand in the bag of the rats.
Yep. Okay.
See them coming down, I'm just going to heave.
Rightio. Yep.
Just fucking him if you are there anyway.
Because where's that milkmaid's voice come from? And the paladin and bastard, what are you doing?
So,
Trick on the back and go, you were scared of rats.
the paladin, looking dead serious, still draws his sword and says, "I be friends."
Okay. And the magician? Yeah.
There are many rats together.
No,
It's
it's a well, it's a very small swarm. But what's the magic user doing?
trying to debate what a group of rats is called.
Okay, so he's just walking on without anything else.
That's
Okay.
when Dietrich
Yep.
enthusiastically joins in, debating the definition of swarm and
Okay, rightio, cool. Yeah. So, has anyone changed their pace of movement?
My feet is circling around to the opposite side of the
Okay,
road where the
right.
rabbits went,
Yep,
and has an arrow.
right.
Someone said I'll just throw a pair of the rabbit corpses onto the field that they went to in the hopes
hmm
that it will power that to move on quickly after we're past.
Swiftly, yeah, swiftly. After the rabbits are thrown,
Right.
start moving swiftly.
Okay, so you sort of double move for just a wee while?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, okay, rightio. So I'm going to say 5 minutes pass, you sort of jogged down the road a bit, feeling a little bit more comfortable, and you continue to proceed with your movement. Right, so um, what are you actually looking for out here? I know you're looking for bandits, but what is it that's going to tell you you're near something like that?
Going to be hiding places that they could be
Yep,
infiltrating.
yep,
The
Beaten,
smoke.
beaten paths, not like beaten paths, but slightly beaten paths on
okay.
different trails.
So you're looking for, yep,
Caves or yeah, potential places where wagons have been turned over or broken down, loot has been dragged off of the road.
hmm so,
Areas where like light amounts of travel, like
yep,
not heavy travel, but light travel along the
yep,
road.
okay, right,
Yeah, also areas like that. So
okay.
I'm going to be constantly scouting for that kind of stuff.
Okay, can you and Harlot, please, both of you give me 3d6 intelligence rolls?
Not having.
Well, you never know. And tell me how much you either pass or fail by.
Oh god, I failed by 2.
Okay,
I failed by 7.
okay. So, Elia, you're moving along. It's a good 2 hours into the day movement. It's sort of,
Smoke signs.
yep, cornfields, that sort of thing. You come across a couple of copses where the road is sheltered by some trees. You believe, excuse me, you believe you see a possible one of those small trails leading off the road, like something, not a well beaten track, but like, you know how like you walk through a fresh field and you get that little bit of downtrodden stuff.
Yeah,
It's sort of, you're thinking it's more like that. The rest of the group doesn't seem
could have taken the road.
more, well, not a large group, perhaps one or two abreast, but not much more than that. But it goes off to your left.
Are there any large trees in the vicinity that I can climb and take a better look?
You could do, but you're looking into the copse of trees, so the canopies are probably going to block a lot of your sight. And if you're looking and thinking about targets, you're going to be silhouetted against the sky.
Okay.
Good idea.
Close.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the copse of trees would be
That thick then.
perhaps 20 to 50 feet in length, going off away from the road. Looks around about 60 or so feet long on both sides. So it's not a big area, but it is a possible area.
Alright. Alright, yeah. So we, basically investigate, but if we're gonna continue forward into this area,
hmm
I'll take the lead and I'll try and hide and move silently.
Okay. So hide and move silently, you can only do one or the other. So I'm assuming that you'd rather move silently first.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much.
Okay. And what's your percentage, please?
20%. I wouldn't be going too far in front of the party. Like,
Yep. No, that's all cool. Are you doing anything else to prepare yourself?
I am knocking an arrow
hmm
to my bow
And you got a short bow, haven't you?
moving,
Yep.
moving through. I'm not moving directly down the path they would take. I'm sort of stalking through the trees slash undergrowth
Right.
next to it as quietly as possible.
So you are trying to use that underbrush and tree as cover.
As natural cover, yeah.
Okay, rightio. And are you moving quickly, or are you moving carefully, or how you want to move?
Moving carefully and
Yep.
motioning for the party to slowly follow me down
Okay,
the trail.
rightio. Okay, well, slightly off the trail, but yep, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Master has only just realised that you have disappeared and is curious as to where that
Also, so
Okay.
I'm gonna be as well.
Yeah.
Motion to you all.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's too loud here, so it's gonna be hard.
No, it's okay. I saw what you said. So I need you to give me a 3d6 roll, please.
It's me.
No, Dedrick.
Okay.
I passed by one.
Okay, so there's lots. It's hard to read in this road. There's lots of wagon trail.
They split off on the path and have gone.
You're not a tracker, so you can't really tell that much detail. All you can tell is that once.
Can I tell if the little trail's been recently used?
No, no. You can
That's sort of what we got from it, that it
may have been. I mean,
only by like a couple of people, maybe.
yeah. So it could even be like an animal. You don't not sure because none of you have the ability to say exactly what it is. But you can definitely guarantee, Dedrick, that this road has been used. There's not been any rain, so these cart tracks could be anywhere up to a week old. But there's nothing that looks like it's been pulled off the road, or like tracks that lead directly off the road onto this trail slash track slash whatever.
Trapper, can I take an intelligence roll to see whether I think that maybe the disturbance to the brush was caused by an animal or a human?
Won't really know, sorry. Hang on, let me think. From your knowledge, it doesn't really give you much more information, but you would guesstimate that it's something. It's much less than a bull. Possibly it could be a large wild cat, something of that size, wolf, man, humanoid. Things of that size is sort of what you would expect to make this sort of size track, but you don't know exactly what it is.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So you're moving along. Unfortunately, you do make a bit of noise. So you sort of stop and just watch. Stop and watch. Yep. And okay. Rightio. And just give me one more. Okay. Rightio. You sort of, it's getting in a little bit. You've sort of gone in about 15-20 feet. You are not sure, but sort of as you're sort of just sort of hiding behind the tree and just quickly sort of looking around, trying to see if you can see anything moving or anything unusual, there is off in a direction sort of more towards the center of the tree something that looks a bit out of place. It's a color, but that's, you can't tell what shape because you're only doing this super quickly, but it's just a color, like it's a flash of like orange or something that's just not what you expect to see in this area. You sort of go like that and you sort of go, okay, that was either someone's jacket or a piece of cloth or something.
Could have been someone's jacket hanging on a tree.
Could be, but it could be something, yeah.
Could have been a person standing there for all I know, really.
At the moment, yeah.
Can I take time and have another quick look? Like,
Okay, so this time, yeah, very carefully, crouching low so that you don't give away your position, because you've got to remember you're on near the outside, so you'd be more outlined by the outside than anything else. You slowly move around and just sort of peek with your left eye around the corner of the tree, so to speak. What you can see is that it could even be like just a small rope tent. You might need to move a few more feet to just see if you can get a better angle with it. It's around about 35-40 feet into the forest, the little copse of trees, which are quite dense.
yep. Alright, at this point, I'm gonna wait and hear noise for a bit.
Okay. So you motion to the group to shut up and don't move.
Wait and shut up for a sec, and try to hear noise in
Okay.
the direction of the tent and the surrounding area.
Radio. No, she's told you to follow her where she was going, but she's told you to stay still now. So you listen intently for a good minute. You can definitely hear some sort of voices. They are low voices. You can't make out what they're saying, but you can definitely hear several voices, at least 3 or 4 distinct voices.
Do they sound like they're coming from inside the tent or from around the tent?
It's somewhere in the vicinity of the tent, whether it's inside or on the other side. You're not sure. You can't see anybody on this side.
Alright.
But they are talking in slightly hushed tones, which makes it difficult to hear much else than that. You can't really get a hell of a lot of detail, but you can pick up at least 3 or 4 distinct different voices, just how they're speaking.
Alrighty. At this point, I quietly stalk back to the group and I tell them, I reckon there's about 3 or 4 people set up with a tent about, 35 feet
35-40 feet, yeah.
past this copse of trees. I'd say we can take them with the element of surprise. What do you guys want to do about it? I say we fan out and just approach.
Basically, I'm going to, without saying anything here, I'm going to pull out one of my hand axes, turn it around, and sort of, hand it into my hand, like, non-lethally, because
Mhm.
I'm knocking them out. What time is it? Are these people just sitting at camp for the night?
No, it's mid-morning. It's just before lunch, really.
So they could be just travelers about to eat lunch on the road, which
They could be. They could just. Yeah. There's nothing to say they're bandits. I couldn't hear any.
sorry, without expressing too much intelligence, what I was thinking is if those of us that are better suited, to perhaps like sit and wait and someone can bait them into if they're brigands.
Yeah, or someone could actually use an ability.
Yeah, well, the paladin before using it, says, "By the gods, we might not but take it action to discover it. True evil is lurking."
Oh my god. Are you speaking that loudly when you say that?
If he tries to, I'm gonna slam my fist into his face, like right over his mouth.
Yeah.
Wait, I've only
Yeah.
I'm working out how my character's speaking, and I speak in
Right.
different ways, a bit loud. Alright.
Someone puts a finger over their mouth and looks at you and says, "See if you can detect it."
No, I meant out of game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Been loud for a while, but in
Yeah, I
game.
know. I understand. Yeah, alright.
All right.
And I will start concentrating deeply, basically.
Okay. So it's not like a sonar where you can spin around and do it. It's a direction that you focus on.
I'm gonna face the
Yeah.
direction that I'm advised to
Yep.
by Elijah
So what you get
myself.
is a very very slight dis-ease, not disease, a very slight dis-ease, which would indicate that there is some bad intent or some nefarious action that has been either taken in this place or by these people or from an item that they possess. So you are feeling fairly assured that they're not good, and they are probably not evil, are neutral. They are probably tending towards evil, but they're not as strong.
Likely for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of instant a trap.
Alright. Elia unstraps her short sword, unstraps her backpack, unstraps her bow, drops it on the ground, and motions for you guys to follow her lead, basically. And she runs out into the way. She takes off her leather armor too, sort of makes it look like she's a damsel in distress.
Mm-hmm.
And
I shall hail these people and discover their intent.
Right.
I approached the copse of trees saying, "Howdy, fellow travelers." And I stand like far enough back that I can sort of step back into the copse of trees quickly enough if they
Well,
decide to
they,
actually throw
yep.
crossbows.
They're in the copse of, you're in the copse of trees. They're not outside of it, but you're just moving towards them. How close do you want to get to them? You'd be able to have good sight at around about 15 feet away from them. There'd still be some trees in the way, some small saplings and things.
I want to stand sort of behind a tree using it as natural cover and roughly walk,
Hmm.
way too into the cornfield slightly.
Yep. Move in.
Yeah, I don't want to be in direct view of crossbows and stuff if they decide to pull them out. I want to be able to just step behind a tree. So I sort of just call out to them from semi behind a tree, but I'm firmly setting my intent that if they draw on me immediately, I just immediately hide behind a tree.
Hmm.
Like I'm setting that action after I call out to them.
Okay. So what's your hide in shadows roll, please?
20, but
Yep.
with natural cover, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's all cool. I just need to make a roll for when, if that's called for. I just need to know what the number was. Okay, so first of all, one of a rough-looking fellow, long black hair, long straggly beard. He's wearing some sort of leather vest. He's got a scabbard with a broadsword at his side. You notice he's got a dagger on his left boot. He appears to be right-handed. He doesn't appear to have a shield or anything. He's wearing a sort of a large checks on a shirt that's seen much better days and at least 5 washes ago. You're not sure whether it's all supposed to be that darker colour or not. He sort of smiles and says, "Where are you, lass?"
I think I may have just lost my way off the road.
"Oh, it's not that far for the road, but if you're looking for company, me and the boys here would be more than happy to share some, and possibly a drink and a bite to eat."
Alrighty, I wouldn't pass it up. You guys better have my fucking back.
Mhm.
Speaking out of character.
Mhm.
From what I can see now, do any of them seem to have ranged weapons on them?
No.
Alright, I sort of stroll out into the clearing about 5 feet or so.
Yep. So that you get a bit of a wolf whistle.
To get a bit of a wolf whistle, yeah,
Mhm.
right. So it's already starting to look a bit.
Mhm.
Have they asked me anything else yet? Have they, asked, are you travelling alone? Are you...
Not yet. The guy's just standing there. So at one end of the tent there's guy and another guy appears behind him. At the other side of the tent you can see 2 guys sort of pop out of the other end and stand up, sort of thing. None of them appear, so you can see 4 of them, and none of them appear to have any missile fire or actually any weapons in hand.
Okay.
They look prepared, if you know what I mean, but not active. Yeah.
They look prepared, but not... Alright, fair enough
Yeah.
then. I sort of stroll a bit closer and say, well, it's nice to meet you.
Mm.
What have you got for dinner?
Oh, he says, well, first of all, you're welcome to share the food, but food costs money. Have you got something perhaps you could share with us to pay for some food?
Well, I ain't got any money on me. What else would you want from me?
He gives you that sort of leery look and says, well, I'm sure we can come to some arrangement.
Can we just... That's basically the sign for you guys to fucking move in.
Yeah. But they're not listening, so he...
Well, they can't hear this.
Well, they can't hear everything. They can hear you, but there was no sort of signal given, so the guy says...
Bad's happening. All they've done is said that you either need to pay or you
something. Yeah. So the guy talks to one of his friends.
I say arms for us, no one rides for free.
Yeah. So the guy says to his friends to get you some food. Gold, no silver. Remember silver. Yeah. Or copper.
I intently say gold because I want to know how they react to that.
Okay, well the chap that's talking to you is really cool-handed about everything. And he just gives you a bigger smile, and you can see that one of his teeth on the right side is actually gold. Um,
I'm actually going to just carefully stop looking at these guys, unroll the little piece of paper that I shoved down my.
okay, so the thing is, you can't really see them. You can't see them. She can. She's close enough.
I'm just going to assume that everybody in the group knows that if I fucking whistle loudly, you'll
Yeah.
charge it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he tells his friend to get you a small plate of food from the, and apparently on the other side is where they've got their little camp, their little camping fire, where they've got some sort of stew going there. And the gentleman just waits for you to move forward, and he puts out his hand, gives a little bow, puts out his hand, like, you know, not to shake, but like for you to put your hand in his hand.
Is he the one armed or unarmed?
He's armed.
Yep.
They've all got
Yeah.
weapons on them, but they haven't drawn anything.
They haven't drawn them.
No.
Okay, I very gingerly put my hand in his.
He kisses, he draws it to his mouth, kisses it, and bows lower and says, "Welcome to our campsite, madam. Please come and sit." He seems to be fairly well mannered.
Alright, okay, I go and sit with them and I suggest we start drinking.
That's a good idea, but unfortunately, my boss would not approve, and we haven't bought anything.
Your boss?
Hmm.
Boss here? If your boss isn't here, what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
If you've got drink, then perhaps we can drink.
I didn't bring anything with me.
Yes. Well,
Who's your boss? What kind of work
he's
do you do? Out here in the wilds. Are you trappers? I was a trapper.
really, he says, you're a trapper. Well, there's many things you can trap. The further away you're from the city.
Ah, I see. Many things you can trap.
Hmm.
I
Very much warning flags going off, right?
sort of stumble up and I say, a lady needs to use the
Certainly. I suggest not going there. He points in a direction, as several of us have already used that area, perhaps, and he sort of points you in a direction that's sort of parallel but slightly away from your group, but only by like 5 feet or something. He says that might, and it's blocked by a couple of trees, so he says, we won't look, of course.
Alright. You are fine, gentlemen. I stroll off in that direction for a quick quote-unquote peek.
Mhm.
Step behind a tree, and can I see any of the group?
Not really. You know roughly where they are, so you can sort of see how, because you know they're there, but they wouldn't really be that well seen if you didn't know they were there.
Would they be able to tell if am I behind a tree? Am I far enough in the trees that they wouldn't be able to see me if I scurried towards the group quickly?
They would see you move, because you're only about 5 feet away from them. Yeah.
I just whistle it. I just give a short, a very quiet like whistle then, like a fucking movie.
Caw, 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 tucky, tucky.
Yeah, like a let's do this shit fucking kind of whistle.
Okay, so gentlemen,
Then I knock an arrow and
well, you, I'm not sure where you got your arrow from, because you said you took all that off.
well no, I said I re-put it on before I strolled out there because that was the rape situation. Then we went back to the non-rape situation.
Hmm.
Still sounds a lot like rapist time to me.
I know, but regardless, I did say I redressed myself. I did.
Okay. So you try to use a signal. Yeah.
I tried to use a signal.
And knock an arrow.
I'm sure the group knows that I've made some sort of sign that would indicate
Mhm.
that they should do something, for fuck's sake.
Rightio.
And,
So
I've knocked an arrow behind the tree where they can't see me, where they still think I'm here.
you're right.
Just so
So, just need to ask one question. Sorry, Ron. I just need to know, Dedrick, are you doing anything right now?
Sorry, just to be clear, we don't have sight. So,
Thinking of doing anything nasty to her.
You have a vague direction to go into.
right, shall wait and see what the mistress is going to come back. Sorry, we've got a warning sign, right?
No, nothing was actually set. She just made a whistle in the...
Yeah, no one said a safe word, but you heard me whistle, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Well, you
but
whistle.
what I'm saying is that
Paladin, are they thinking of doing anything nefarious?
Yes. To arms!
Okay, so what are you doing, Paladin?
Thank God, Jesus Christ.
use the abilities. You've got the ability to detect evil intent.
You already did.
Has it gone from being from mildly thinking of doing something evil to they've got something definitely evil on their minds right now?
It doesn't matter, I already heard them talk about their thoughts and talk about them trapping other things on the road. I know what they are, and I've given the sign, basically.
Unfortunately, the only unfortunate thing is no one knows it was a sign, so I'm just going to ask everyone in the other group just to give me a plain 1d20 roll. You know, not Andy's character, not Lincoln's character. Bastard, you get the idea. Shit, I think we need to be moving in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, bastard, yeah.
Has Daedric been continuing to...
No, he's concentrated to. He's only found that little bit. So, Dedrick, as you see Bastard start to walk off towards the general direction she went into, what are you doing?
Shall draw a light blade,
And
and I'll be following along shoulder to shoulder.
okay, and as you approach, are you doing anything?
Actually, I'll concentrate to see if I can see anything.
You've got to stop movement if you do that. That's the problem.
I'm setting it... Can I set an action?
In a second, I've just got to
Alright, yeah, alright, cool.
just got to work out.
Fire alarm.
The paladin's missing in action. Sorry, guys.
Be the paper.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your... I'll see if you can do it now, but what was your action you wanted to try to do, Matt?
My action is as soon as they step out into view of the quote-unquote bandits, I'm going to step out from behind the tree with a drawn arrow and tell them not to move. Or
Mhm.
fire.
Okay. Rightio.
Before they've drawn, like, ideally before they've drawn their weapons.
Mhm.
Like, don't move or I'll shoot.
Mhm.
And now say, catch you fuckers at a bad time.
Okay. Rightio.
What's your character's name? Harlan.
So
I'm just saying.
Lincoln, what's your character?
Elbow Harlan. Don't whisper. Don't we look like the bandits here? I'm going to as thoughtfully as I can, since I'm still not leaving the thing, shuffle my way around so that I can get a better vantage point.
are you heading right or left?
I'm going to head to the left,
Mhm.
and I'm going to
Okay.
sort of shush and whisper, or hints that the person should follow me. I was going to say I'm following my meat shield. I mean friends.
Right. Okay. So if I could just ask the paladin,
60-second wolf meat.
yeah, the paladin, as you approach, are you doing anything?
Can I see any enemies yet?
You are starting to see the campsite. Are you doing anything?
I'll tap on the guy next to his shoulder and usher him to wait, and then I'll concentrate for how many seconds?
Okay, so please remember, guys, you're sitting here trying to coordinate things. This is all happening live. So at this point, thinking that the group are there, I'm going to have to ask Elia to take a step out and point the arrow at them.
What, thinking that the group has walked into the copse of... Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, they actually met them face to face.
Mm.
So that's going to happen, I guess.
Yeah. So the guys sort of look, he laughs and he says, I wouldn't do that, lassie, you better lower the weapon.
Why is that?
He just puts his left hand up and he just points at you, and this arrow sort of appears right next to you in the tree next to you. And it's come from someone behind him, but none of those three guys behind him have got a weapon in their hand. But they've all got big as shit-ass eating grins on their faces.
Snipers. Sniper.
Thanks, guys.
Pro snipers.
Thanks for your backup. I think that,
Made the snipers disappear.
yeah, but you might have, Anyway, I stepped back behind the tree. Well,
Okay.
tried my hardest. Up to you guys now. Step behind the tree.
Rightio, so you're concentrating Paladin, you're moving Dwarf and Magic User around. I need you, Dwarf, to roll a surprise roll for you and the Magic User. That is brilliant. That's unfortunate. They have initiative on you. So as you almost walk into these two individuals, one's got a bow and the other one's got a longsword drawn, and the guy with the longsword, all he does is he has a slash at you, seeing you. The bowman will turn and have an arrow at the guy behind you. And that's their surprise round done. So what's your armor class surprise? So no dexterity, but if you do have a shield, that counts. 4. Okay, it's pretty high. That is probably going to miss, but I just want to verify. Yep, and monsters actually get quite a high THAC. They are that level, and no, does miss you, but very close. Magic User, you're just armor class 10, yes? Armor class 10, so the guy with the arrow doesn't need a shitload to hit you. But that will miss. And luck is on your side. He only missed. Okay, so what we have is we have a liar standing pretty much between the group, the bad guys, if I can call them that, and the road. Off to the left, coming in from the left, is Bastard and Dedrick halting while Dedrick does something, and then further around towards the back a little bit more is Harlot and Lincoln's character's name, which we haven't got, Leith, yeah? So that's the situation we've got at the moment. So now we're going to have to go into initiative. Oh no, hang on, sorry, they got 2 rounds. They got 2 rounds of surprise. They get to have a second attack. Yep, this 1, and they rolled a 3. That's 3 take away 1 is 2. They get 2 rounds of surprise.
Jesus Christ, so if I roll a 1, they roll a 6, they get
5, that's right. Surprise, remember, surprise in 1st edition is bloody deadly. Yep. No. Yep. So the second slash is a miss. And no, and the second bow is a miss. Yep. So now we go into initiative, but we've got 3 different, well, we've got Andy, if you roll for you 2 and I'll roll for them, the 2 that you're facing. Yep. So first of all, yeah. So Andy, you be 2, 4, cool. Because you're concentrating, Ron, if you can make the initiative roll for you and the paladin. 1d 1, and they roll 5, And then finally, Matt, because you're off by yourself, you get to roll your own initiative.
Alright.
Do you have any bonus for dexterity, Matt?
Yes.
+1 to hit or to armor? Armor.
Dex.
Okay, so what that does, because you've had an arrow knocked, means that you'll get a bonus +1 on top of whatever you roll
For initiative.
for initiative. Okay, so clearly, Eli goes first. What do you choose to do?
So, can we get any sort of map of the situation?
I can draw you something, but it's not going to be super.
Doesn't have to look cute.
No, it's not going to, believe me. Okay, so copse of trees, road, other copse of trees that you don't have to worry about. So you sort of come in here, you've encountered them there. You are you are here. Bastard and the paladin is here. The other two are sort of somewhere over here. So that's where the dwarf and the other encounter is, but you don't know that. You don't know that, but just so everyone knows where they are. Please don't try to use the only Elia. You would probably be able to see Bastard because he's not trying to hide. He didn't say he's trying to hide anything. He's just coming in, and it sounds like he's ready to say, "So we caught you with your pants down," sort of thing.
Have I seen anybody attack anyone in the party yet?
No, no.
So the only people who has been. So wait, is Dangerous one on the bottom?
No, he's the one on the side.
Oh, he's next to Bastard.
Yep.
The two down the bottom have been attacked, right?
Which you're not aware of, but yeah, because it's been a surprise round.
Not
Yeah,
aware of, I'm not
yeah,
aware of,
yeah. You know that arrows are coming from somewhere in that general direction, but that's about the only thing you know. On the central X, you've got the lead guy over here, and you've got a guy here and a sort of a guy here. That's it.
Alright, can I shoot and move?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna forego my second shot and I'm going to... Wait, would that be a move and shoot? Could I peek out from behind the tree, take a shot, and like peek back behind the tree?
That's totally fine. If that's all you want to do.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do that.
So basically, using the tree as some sort of cover as you take a shot at.
Yeah, and I already heard Daedric proclaim before that he felt some sort of evil intent.
Yep.
So that's enough for me.
Okay.
Plus, looking at the dude's face, hearing about his quote-unquote boss, and that you can trap more than animals on the road, I'm
Yep.
100% sure these guys aren't. Yeah, so
Okay. So who do you want as your target with your arrow?
the main dude.
Okay. Now, just ducking.
Actually, what are they wielding? Is anyone wielding a bow?
No. Well, you know someone is, but they're out of sight. You haven't found them yet.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
No one that I can see is wielding bow. Alright.
No, just
Clean
swords.
face does not mean guilt, but talking about trapping things other than animals
Yeah.
on the road does mean guilt.
And the thing is, you're doing this because that's the only information you've got, and that's all cool. Just want to say you can dodge and try to use the tree as cover as much as you want. Still have your second shot. It's only if you're going to move any sort of distance that you're going to sort of possibly.
Okay, so I can take
Use
two
it.
shots and still take cover behind the tree.
Yep. Of course, you know.
And how far back is the tree from them? And like,
It's only about 7 odd feet
okay, so I could
from the front guy.
I could take a shot from behind the tree, then retreat back further, like out
Mm.
of their charge range, or maybe back.
No charge yet.
behind
No,
Bastard.
no charge is possible in this copse of trees. There's not enough clear ground.
Not a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay, but they could approach me and attack me though if I didn't move from where I am next.
Possibly. Depends on how well the first arrow goes, I guess.
Yeah.
And what other things happen.
Well, I can shoot, move, and shoot anyway. So how far could I move in that copse of trees? Like just
So your normal movement, I think, is 90 feet. Is that correct, or 120?
I'm on heavy right now, so it's 950, I think.
90. Okay. So you'd be looking at in clear terrain 90 feet, half movement 45, so half again 22 odd feet, which would put you almost back, roughly almost back somewhere in the sort of this sort of vicinity.
Alright, I'm going to take a shot at the leader,
Yep.
then I'm going to retreat back behind where Bastard is
hmm
and take
Somewhere there.
another shot from there.
Okay, once you move too far away, there's too much tree in the way to take a shot. That's also what's helping you not be seen, as well as them not seeing you.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll get sort of in line slash next to Bastard, but not far back enough that I can't take a shot. I'll get behind, so say, I imagine they've just walked into the clearing sort of thing.
There's no real clearing, but you can sort of see Bastard because he hasn't made any attempt at hiding. If I'm not missaying what you're going to do, Ron, it was your intent seemed to be that you're going to just walk in and start hacking.
Actually, yeah, I didn't see it. And then speak in order to distract them.
Okay.
Give it the thorough read. And
They're already taking shots then. Yeah, like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, well I'll take a shot at the leader, then I'll move and get behind the nearest tree.
Yep.
Next sort of to Bastard.
Somewhere around there. Yep.
Take my second shot from there.
Okay. So the first shot. Yep. Make your roll. That hits an armor class what? 4. That I believe will. Sorry, just let me give me a second. Boom, boom, boom. That definitely hits. So if you could do damage, please. Okay. Well, that guy drops to the ground. Yeah.
Cool. I maneuver around to where I said, roughly here.
Yeah.
Behind the closest tree there, and I take my second shot at the next closest.
Yeah. Your second shot's at the end of the round.
End of the round, yes.
Yeah. But that's so you're moving.
I have maneuvered, right?
You are manoeuvring it as we speak around this way.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah. So just depending on when other things happen. Okay. So then we go to a 5. So 5 because they've got a thing in the main battle. So these two guys, I've got to actually roll their morale because the person has just gone down. Oops, sorry. Roll 2d10. God. Okay, neither one is running away. So one is running after you, and the other one's running up to Bastard and going to have a swing. Then he suddenly sees the paladin. That's still not going to stop him.
Have I got time to say anything?
You've got time to say 5 words.
Take one of them alive.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm just going to roll by the guy who's trying to attack you, Ron. He's unfortunately hit you. But he can only do up to 6 points of damage. He does 3 points of damage to you. So probably sliced your left arm quite nicely. Or whichever arm, if you had a shield, doesn't have a shield. He's only wielding a short sword, just so you know, but he does have a dagger in his boot. And he's not wielding a shield. The other guy is chasing after you. Just let me think, what can he do? So I'm going to say, because you're moving, you've still got cover, but he's got a sort of a back attack on you, Elia. But you're still going to get, so it's going to equal out, so it's a flat roll.
So he got to me in time.
Well, he's only got to move. and had a slash at your back, but that's normally a +2, but because you're trying to take cover and move around behind the other guys, I'm going to give you the bonus of 2.
Yeah, but I thought I had initiative, sorry.
You do, but you've used it. Now it's their turn. You go on a 7, they go on a 5.
What about my second shot?
Happens at the end of the round.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So your armor class on your back is what? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know, probably a lot than that. I'm only wearing leathers.
Oh, okay, it's 7. So yep, that hits an armor class 5. So he does strike you. Striking, so you get a welt of pain, I'm going to say your upper left thigh, as he strikes. Of course, when you stop to strike people like that, you can't move forward, so you do tend to leave them behind as you move around behind the other 2.
Yep, only 3 with pain.
She's a professional.
Nah, that's 3. It's like rough. It's sort of... She's weird,
Cool. Okay, then we move to a 4 with Andy,
Motherfucker got me. Yep,
you and the magic user.
can I maneuver in a way that would get
You've got the other guy in your face first, unfortunately.
okay. Well then,
Axe, hand axe, yep. That'll definitely hit him. Damage, please. Point. Doesn't render him unconscious, but it sort of no, I thought there were only 1d4s. Okay. Well, cool. Okay, so 3 points of subdual, which basically means 1 real, 2 fake, but he's well on his way to becoming unconscious. Unfortunately, not unconscious at the moment. Magic user. Okay, where you go? Oh, at who? Okay, thank God. Otherwise, no, unfortunately not. No. Yeah. Yep. So you can try to use some tree for just general cover. These trees aren't big enough to give you total cover. Yeah. Yep. That's okay. Yep. Right. So, what we'll do next is basically it's the arrow guy and the sword facing the dwarf and the magic user next, followed by your next dart, followed by your last arrow and bastard and the paladin's action. Yeah, we got hit for 3. Ready? No. Yeah. Yeah. So, so this is the archer on the magic user. So your armor class is now 12 because you got +2 for the cover of the trees. And he just misses you.
So Daedrin's next to bastard, so he
Yeah.
went right there when I got here, pretty much. Like,
Almost.
probably would have seen me getting chased.
Yeah. Well, I saw some movement, but not sure what it was. So you just narrowly got missed by an arrow there, Leith. Followed by the swing to the dwarf. That's nasty. There's no special, I haven't said anything special, so he's just going to do the damage, whatever the damage happens to be. 6. Broadsword, sorry. 1. No, the long sword's on the leader. These guys only have short swords, so I had it right. Yeah. The minion ones have 1d6. The big guy, who Eli already dropped, had a long sword. Yeah, big weapon. 4 more points of damage. So that guy's slicing into you nastily. Next dart, please. Yep.
That's the first time anything's hit me.
Okay. Next dart. Yeah, your next dart. Nope. Okay. Followed by Eli, your last arrow.
Yeah, I guess I'd try to take a shot at the dude who's directly, well, either that or, yeah, well, it has to be an arrow, doesn't it?
Yep. Okay.
Alright. So that's the dude chasing me, and
That hits armor class. Oh, 6. Yep. Yep. Playing with your meal again. He takes an arrow to the shoulder, but it doesn't seem to stop him. But you definitely hit him with something. Followed by the last 2 people, and then the last dart.
yo, anyone want to help me out here, for fuck's sake? That's a full 5 minutes, man. Yeah, fuck, yeah, right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. So,
No stake out.
yeah.
Leading the
So, Bastard, you've been waiting patiently, so, Bastard, what are you doing?
going to step back to create space as I slice down with my halberd
Mm-hmm.
from his down to his right hip.
Okay, away you go.
I think I have any modifiers.
No.
I think I hit.
No. Didn't won't hit his armor class, unless you got some bonuses somewhere. Nope. Okay. So, halberd, of course, is rather difficult to sort of maneuver in this area, but no penalties as such at the moment. Followed by the paladin. What are you doing?
depends. I want to know from where I'm standing how much, what I've heard.
Okay, so you can sort of almost see the campsite. You've seen one guy suddenly appear next to the Bastard who's a foot or 2 ahead of you. So, you know, that's to the left. Off to the right, you've heard some movement. You've recognized Elia, and she's been running. She's obviously been cut. There's perhaps some blood running down her left leg that you can see. She's sort of half turned, and you've heard an arrow thud hit some sort of target, so there's sort of a grunt, and you can just sort of start seeing a guy coming into view chasing her. There's some sort of battle noise off to your left but further back, and you know that's where the dwarf and the magic user have gone. Yeah, and that's about it. Yeah, so you don't know what's happening back there except that there's some sort of combat, but you've got one guy hacking at Bastard, one person chasing Alien, not even aware that you guys are there.
Alright, so, I was slightly tempted to hunt down this perverse person worshipping the blood god. I'll put that probably confirm with him.
Mm-hmm.
I shall seek their meeting, and I shall trace off leading past him by his
Mm-hmm.
in that direction. I'll try to. I'm not going to take too much time. I will basically just move up with my bastard sword in 2 hands, looking for
Okay, well the guy is actually sort of there. You only have to take really about 5-6 feet, and then he sort of becomes visible behind all the little trees.
If I can, I'm going to try and basically remove thine head from thine shoulders from behind.
From behind him.
I was about to say, are you at least going to say excuse of me so that he can continue appearing to face his attacker? Paladin, who shouldn't be stabbing people in the back?
I'm just wondering how you got to the back of him, because he's facing you.
Oh, he's facing me.
Yeah.
Straight up to him and say,
Yeah.
"It's thine sins and he gets life."
Okay. So,
That's more Paladin.
right out, yep.
Paladin is the one that walks up, backstabs him with taps him on the shoulder. Excuse me, this is my sword. I'm gonna hit you now.
Yeah.
I believe it's as he's already inserted it in his bag. Surprise it, motherfucker.
Make your roll. Yeah, that's okay. That's one thing you can do. Or I just have one line.
I keep on forgetting his plus 4
Yep.
base modifier.
That's a hit. Damage,
You have
please.
a +1 to your strength. I thought you had a pen.
No, he's only got 18, not 18 percentile.
That's plus 1.
That's when it starts climbing up huge time.
He does at least get plus 2 damage.
Yep.
What was it? 2d8?
So AS him. He's already taken 1 damage. You've got an AS.
2 and 2d8.
Fucking hell.
Damage in both ends.
It is.
Don't know if it's 2D. No.
2 to 8. 2d8 equals 5.
Yeah.
2d4 shows 3.
Yeah. And he definitely falls to the ground with a sort of a choked cry as your blade cuts across his front, castrates him, and moves on to the other side.
Hit on him.
Taken 1 alive.
Well,
Yank my arrow out of his chest.
shoulder, but yeah.
As I cut it down.
Right. Okay. Radio.
Maybe ruin that directly after my spitting on him.
Okay, so we now have initiative. This time, can I get Lincoln, you to roll initiative for your little group?
I still have advanced thing.
Oh, sorry, your last dart. Sorry.
Swing. Better.
Getting closer, but not getting there. Leather. Leather. Yeah.
He's got a dex bonus, or yeah. You can't say the word shield, he's got a longbow. 6.
Um,
That's a good number, right?
I don't. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. Okay. Radio, and they get a 3. Okay, so we've got you guys on a 6, them on a 3. Bastard, for your little tate-a-tate.
Am I rolling to hit or am I rolling?
Initiative, sorry, initiative. And you got to beat a 1, so a 4, sorry, so you got to... Okay, he goes on a 4, you guys go on a 1. Okay, so, no, you're included in the Bastard's one, because you're there, basically. So, missile fire or spell-like effects on a 6, or darts.
Darts, but I will be shouting out, "We've killed 2 bandits."
But you haven't.
But the other bandits don't know that.
Uh-huh, right, okay. Rightio.
And I'll be throwing a dart.
Well, okay, you get to throw a dart first. Yep, finally.
D3,
Sorry to run Constantine
Mm.
in the middle of you guys talking as well, which is horrible. Sorry for that.
Mm.
Would a 14 have hit me with leather and a +1 dex?
What's your dex?
+1. It's got a +1
A
bonus.
14 will hit an armor class 5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That would have still hit me, yeah.
Yeah.
Just double checking. For
that's okay, no problem, no problem.
I just need to remember that shit in the future.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
They had the same echo as you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay, and then we move down to the dwarf doing the dwarfly thing.
So once again, I will attempt to attach the rear of my pickaxe to
Mm-hmm.
front in hopes of knocking him down out.
Yep.
That ain't gonna happen.
Nope. Okay, then I'm going to move down to the bastard. You rolled a 1, so it's the guy having a hack at you. He misses you. Then we go to a 3. So they get to go, and then the next dart comes out. So the bowman misses you again. You are being super lucky. The dwarf unfortunately has engaged them, so it's a little bit more difficult to get any sort of cover. Again a hit.
Shooting me.
1 point of damage. Very lucky. Okay, the next dart please.
Tis but a scourge.
Okay. Then we go to if Elia is doing a missile fire or not. Remember, if you miss, you could hit blasted.
Okay. Oh shit.
How assured do you feel that you can actually take out the villain?
Sorry, does a dex bonus gives you a +1 to your missile fire to hit as well, doesn't it?
Only if it's high enough, yeah.
Yeah, if it's a 15, right?
I think it's gonna be higher. I'll double check.
Yeah.
15's a +1, I'm pretty sure.
15 I think gives you a -1 on your armor class. I'm not sure if it gives you a +1 onto hits.
Okay.
I can check it.
Yep. Yep. It also affects
15, nothing. 16 is your minus +1 to hit.
okay, 16, so one more. Okay.
So 15 gives you nothing, basically?
Nothing. -1 to armor.
Oh, okay. And
Yep.
you still get your -1 to armor.
Yep. Yep.
Any one of too many things.
Oh, okay.
So you, if your character you're going to be hunting for magic that gets that dex up. Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to double
Yeah, that's okay. That's
It's
cool.
all over the place in this game, like it doesn't,
Yeah. So what do you wish to do? Are you going to shoot an arrow into melee or not?
bastard standing there fighting who? One dude?
Yep.
Has he been hit yet?
Mayeth, I remind you that you wanted to take one on one action.
It's true, okay, and the other battle is going on for...
You can hear some noise, but that's about it. And you hear the voice of the mage saying, "We've killed 2 bandits."
Alright, yeah, right. I actually dropped my short bow and draw my, shield and sword, and I maneuver around behind the dude fighting bastard.
Trying to maneuver into the back. Yep, that's okay. That's going to take you. That's okay. But first of all, bastard, you get to swing because you are right there in front of him.
Okay, so I'm gonna swing and attempt to incapacitate him.
Okay, so usually that means, well, he's going to be knocking him sideways, which actually reduces your initiative by another factor. But make your roll, and also the paladin, what's he going to do as soon as that is done?
Actually, what would the negative be of trying to shoot someone in the leg, for instance?
Oh, heaps. Leg is about a -8 to hit because it's an individual limb. That hits, and damage please.
Can you go for the eye as well?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a -1.
That's a -8.
If the eyes are going to keep alive.
Torso,
That's
yeah.
True shot and then target the chip.
6. So that guy falls completely unconscious. He's taken a real 2 points of damage, and the rest is all subdual.
Do I still have movement then at this point, because I've just maneuvered, I haven't attacked?
You're maneuvering around, and then you see the guy fall.
Alright.
Yeah.
The next thing I'll do is take out Rope and line him up. But
Cool.
yeah, you guys
That's all cool.
do what you're doing.
That's all cool.
Paladin, do you want to draw a
Yes.
shield and march off towards this foul blood potion?
Okay. Rightio, that's fine. So in that time, as you come towards them, the last, I think, dart.
Done. That one.
That's a hit.
That's a shot.
Ugh, little damage. Oh no. Man, you love playing it tough. Okay, rightio. So next round I'm going to say Bastard and Elia are tying this guy up. So Paladin, you get your own initiative score, and back to the dwarf to roll initiative, and I'll roll initiative for the two lonely people. 1. Okay, rightio, dwarf, and so first of all, any missile fire coming out from the dwarf or the magic user, or spell-like abilities. Okay, dart first, where you go? Miss. Rightio. Dwarf.
Wait, don't you have your wand twice?
Yeah, he's not using it though.
My wand's got 2 charges in it.
Oh, you're saving it.
Oh, nice. Good hit.
Ninja sucker.
Now, no playing with your food, and he goes down. Boom. Okay.
Rather than the guy that's been missing horribly and prodding him occasionally, there's this guy that just out somebody.
Yep. So at this stage,
Right on the back of the head.
at this stage, the paladin, you burst forth, and you see at the feet of the dwarf a guy collapsing, and a guy with a bow and arrow pointed at the magic user. He's still a distance away from you. What are you doing? What's your intention? Just your immediate, not the whole big thing.
My immediate is lay down thine weapons.
So you try to get him to. Yep. Okay, rightio. And as you walk towards him, next dart. You're not in melee yet. Not in melee yet. Okay. I know, these are monstrous things. Finally, that guy gets to make his to hit roll with his arrow. And he misses the magic user again. Yeah. Okay, at the end of that, Paladin, he hasn't stopped. He's attacked the magic user, and well, you can't charge, but you're moving to close to combat. Yep. Are you attacking to subdue or attacking to kill? Okay. Death it is then. Where you go? That's if you hit him. Where you go? That's a hit. Well, he might roll a 1. Well, 2 1s and a 2. That, I know that's going to put him at least unconscious, but that kills him. So he's down. And then the last, you've got one more dart, but both of your targets are down unless you want to attack the dwarf or the paladin. And this is where he brings out the one and goes, brrrt! Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Sleep. Yeah, no, it would only be a dart. Okay, rightio. So,
I shall pull my 2 darts out of the body and wonder where on earth the other ones will be.
yeah. Remember, if
Paladin to drag him back out.
yeah, just
Paladin, see, I told you we killed him.
so just so you know, the rule is you can recover. If you spend time looking for them, you can recover 2/3 of your ammunition that you fired. So if you want to do that, Matt, you can, but you've got to say you spend time looking for it. You always lose at least 1/3.
You're exactly where to.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
So wait, I shot 2. They
You get one back. One breaks when you try to get it back, but yeah. Yeah. But just so you know, you've got a bit of versatility in them, but not too much. Okay, so the usual thing then would be to secure the camp and then start looking at what they are.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So like I say, I tell the paladin to drag out the guy once he's tied up out, secure it, make sure that no one else finds it, because we can't find any trace or anything. That's actually the one to tell the boss.
Mhm.
But I want to make sure that we leave the guy that's
Okay.
murdered here, so that later on
Okay, Paladin, what do you think about that suggestion?
If he told me,
It's only an act, and the guy has already been slain by him.
just give
I'm
him
just trying to put some fear into them.
What are you doing, Paladin, about that?
2 seconds.
What I will say while I'm waiting for the Paladin's response to that, as you've checked the camp, you have found enough evidence to suggest that there are only 5 people at this camp. You've also found a small parchment that's got a name on it. You don't really recognize the name. It could be the name of a place or a person. You don't really it's going to be, let me think, Vine Hall. There you go. So it could be a name of a person or a place. You're not sure, but you haven't heard of Vine Hall before. Um,
Elias going to spend some time searching around the tent carefully.
yeah.
What's in the tent?
Just some very general rough camping gear, really. Nothing of any great worth. There is a bag that's got around about 15 tin pieces in it. That's about it.
Meh.
Yeah. There's no real great wealth. The only wealth would probably be that guy's gold tooth.
Yeah, does she cry out when the guy gets looking? Don't know, leave that for later.
Okay.
Dietrich ready for his answer.
Yes.
Does he
That was a suggestion this barbarian had. Which one?
The wolf, I believe.
I'll
So
look out.
suggesting was that blood that's already flowing out of him would sort of,
I was not going to be
cover over my
angry
blood.
about looking staring at my eyes. She seriously looks very indignant. I look at her with hair in my eyes and speak very seriously. I shall proceed if thy answers be needed without such disassembling. Apparently that means
I'm
triggering.
not
Yep.
disassembling anything you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not disassembling.
No.
I want to at least dissect that corpse. I want to figure out how they work.
And
Captain number 5?
if I've heard the data, I would appreciate his quest for vindication. I would have got any slight approval.
Oh my god. No,
Um,
cool. I'll grab him by the feet and drag it off to the side slightly. No, he gets to auto wound and come out looking like he's covered in blood because of that. I've never figured.
So-
That's good enough. By the way, I'm within sight of the dude that's still that's unconscious. No, we're making like halfway.
Oh, Elias sitting on his chest, slapping him in the face already. Steve,
Mm-hmm.
the logic of the paladin communicating one the other is that one for further knowledge and one for just trickery.
What? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Although the knowledge one would be better perhaps done in an appropriate place. But however,
Hang on.
fine.
We're seeking knowledge from the ones that they get access to gain that knowledge.
But you don't do it
Ingenuity failures.
with innuendo or threats like that. No.
Elias gonna drag the unconscious one, lay him down so that when he opens his eyes, you can see his leader's dead face.
Right.
And then she starts slapping him in the face. The paladin actually didn't really step in and say, calm us down folks.
Right.
I'm not right in charge of this person. I'm going to just rest him up against a tree outside his full weapon and sit right here in front of him with my sword in the ground, ready to get a paladin.
Okay. That's where we'll leave it for now.
Don't quite hear me spit on the ground.
Hang on, I'm not leaving the corpses to get near us.
No.
So bandits, right? What's the common bandit trait?
But they have a process to go through with that. From a duly elected appointed person.
Oh,
So we collect
actually,
the heads of the ones that
Yes.
yeah, sorry, my apologies. The axe comes out
Yeah.
and
But remember,
into the
they're worth more to you alive.
Yeah,
No, only the boss ones. The others are only worth the same no matter what.
yeah. Oh, by the way, just so everyone's on the same page, death is like basically not an option of anything. These guys have been, they've
Pretty much.
judgment?
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, it could be a range of things, but that's for the court to decide. However, I'll just stop the recording. Oh, before I stop the recording, just a couple of questions. Elia, what did you learn about combat?
What do I learn about combat?
Mm-hmm. Okay, right.
Christ. Very good.
No, okay, rightio, that's fine. So we'll just I'll stop the recording.